Alright, people, today we talking about deck doo-doo. Now, deck doo-doo is a problem if you got a lawnmower. Non-stick coating for under mower deck. I hear there are some products out for coating the underside of a mower deck to reduce, eliminate sticking and clumping of wet grass. I got this off of linesite.com. Good little forum. There's many products out there, people, that's supposed to help with deck doo-doo. Now, deck doo-doo is a buildup of the grass clippings and dirt and all that stuff under your mower deck. You know, you got your WD-40 silicone, your WD-40 dry. I Googled, they said the dry was better than the silicone. I don't know, I tried, but I'm going to tell you what I tried. I tried the silicone, the dry, and fluid film. And I tried the dry first, and we're going to get into that later on in the video. And then I tried the silicone second, and then I went into the fluid film. And the reason I did the fluid film, because I seen some things on the forum, and a lot of people was big up in the fluid film over the WD-40. So let's get into what Freaky Fido had to say. He said, if you're looking for something to coat your deck, fluid film is a better alternative to WD-40, as it's a non-toxic lanolin-based formula. It's best to apply multiple coats and let it sit to allow it to penetrate and dry out or harden for a day or so before using the machine. There are numerous other deck coatings as well. Don't expect it to last very long or perform miracles. Shout out to Freaky Fido. Crazy name there, brother. Freaky Fido. But then we got fluid film. You know, they really, Freaky Fido, a whole lot of cats on this forum was big up in the fluid film. You know, some people say they use vegetable oil too, so I'm probably gonna try that Pam cooking oil. I'm gonna get into that while I'm gonna try the Pam. But we got Grave Digger 5. He said, I used to use Modeck, but it never really seemed to make a big difference for the cost. And I have not had any rust issues with my mowers. They never sit long enough to do that. I did get a small can of fluid film years ago when I bought Mr. DR Field Mower. Stuff seemed decent. It would be good for the winter storage to help prevent rust. Next up, we got JTL 40. This morning I mowed my soaking wet grass after 2 inches of rain overnight. I removed approximately the top 2.5 inches off the top with absolutely no clumping whatsoever. And yes, the underside of the deck was coated with fluid film 2 yards ago. By the way, the underside still has no buildup of the grass. Okay? Shout out to old JTL 40. Next up, who we got here? We got Raven 386 said it doesn't completely stop the grass buildup, but it definitely helps. You can really tell the areas that were sprayed heavily and the others that just got a coating. Shout out to Raven 386. I agree with Raven 386. Lenny Jeff said yes, because it's a waste of money. Fluid film is a very good product, but used under a deck, at least in any sandy or dry conditions, is gone in 1 yard. I had my deck rust some over the winter. I mowed 1 yard and the rust was gone. If there's enough dirt stirred up to blast off the rust, then fluid film doesn't stand a chance. I also notice clumping and sticking is the same. No matter what I use, I do use fluid film for just about everything else, especially the truck and snowplow. Now, Jaybird24 said we use it on all kinds of stuff, just not the decks. Our skags and turros stay so clean. It would be more of a hassle to apply it than needed. I may try it on the turbo force baffle though, because that tends to collect stuff and gets hard to move. What old Jaybird had to say, so he ain't really messing with it like that, but he gonna try it. So then we got WD-40, we got dry lube here. I got this off of Amazon. Just showing you a picture. You got the silicone here, you got the WD-40. I actually tried the dry first, then I went to the silicone, then I went to the fluid film. Now right here, people, pulling up on that old right, staring to be 48-inch cutting deck. Yeah, entry level, y'all. I ain't got that big boy right, but I got the little boy right. It's good. It's like a little Honda Civic of the rights. I just put this in here to show you the hours I got on the mower deck. We're on the mower right now, and the hours later after going out to cut, just to show you that I was cutting, to do this experiment here with the deck doo-doo and what can help get rid of or alleviate some of the deck doo-doo. Now in here, got it jacked up. Shout out to Ballard. This is the product I got off there to jack my mower up. I forgot the name of it, but anyway, I just went up under there to show you this deck doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? Look at that deck doo-doo up under there. There's a lot of deck doo-doo up under there. and I run that most kit. So you're gonna get built up with a most kit. You know, if you side discharge, you probably don't get a lot of deck duty like that. Cause I probably convert mine over to side discharge probably by June or July. That's the Ballard degreaser. There go the silicone. Now that previous video, that was after I tried to dry. No, this is okay. This is right here what I'm showing you right now. I tried to dry. So that's the build up after using the WD-40 dry. So in this video also I'm going to apply the silicone. Right now I'm cleaning it with the Ballard degreaser that I got from Ballard. Shout out to Ballard, that's a good degreaser. I like it better than the Purple Power. Spray that degreaser on, pressure wash it off. As you can tell, I got a little rust up under there. It look like a little bit. I don't know. Look like the paint just gone mainly, but it's probably some rust under there, people, because I was having bad habits about cleaning my mower deck. Sometimes I was running out of time. You know, I don't cut. I cut part-time, so sometimes I'm doing other things. You know, that's not an excuse. But anyway, while I was waiting on the deck to dry, I decided to cut my backyard. That's my Toro Time Master right there. So, boom. Look at that. I got that grass looking fresh and clean. That bald spot, people, that's where I keep my trailer, man. You know, I got it bald on purpose. I ain't really trying to grow no grass. I could grow some grass right there, but, you know, keep the trailer right there. I just take the trailer out the yard to mow and go when I'm going, you know, on the go to cut other people's yards. But, yeah, just cut the grass a little bit. Kind of went a little lower than normal on that tall fescue. That's Kentucky 31. And it's got a little bit of snapback rhizomatic fescue in there from United Seed. You know, yeah, I'm just passing time right here, people. Took me about 15 minutes to mow my backyard, waiting on that deck to dry so I could put that silicone on there. That WD-40 silicone. Yeah. Get that grass. Yeah, get that grass. Got my George Jefferson ball spot right there. Look at that. But yeah, that's why I keep my trailer parked there. That's what y'all looking at. All right. About to put on that silicone. I applied the silicone. I'm back. I'm showing you the hours. Remember where it was at? Now look at it. So I did some cutting. I did some mowing. So we're going to see. Let's look at the deck doo-doo. All right. We got it jacked up. We up under there. We checking that booty. Oh, yeah. We got the deck doo-doo. It's not that bad, though. That's better than the dry. Look at that. It's deck doo-doo now. But, that's better than the dry. It was easy for me to scrape off and wash off. That you're going to see in this next video. But, yeah. That's after the WD-40 silicone. And I didn't even let that sit over a whole night. I should have cleaned it better, let it sit over a whole night. But, you know, it sat for about an hour before I started cutting. I did some cutting that day, man. I really did some mowing. I sure did. All right, this is from Valak. What Valak talking about? Valak saying nothing will eliminate sticking, just like there's no waterproof boot for scuba diving. Take your pick, fluid film, cooking, or PAM. The list goes on. They all wear out or wear off out in time. Yes, they might make some scraping a bit easier, but not for long. The underside of a mower deck is an ongoing tornado or wet dry. So finding some magic formula to apply is the pot of gold, the fountain of youth. Let us know if anything works for an extended period of time. All these needed reapplying, and you'll still need to scrape eventually. And I agree with Valak, man. Shout out to Valak. He nailed it with Devil. It's very right on point. You're not escaping from deck doo-doo unless you just cut dry all the time and side discharge. Again, if you run that most kit, you're going to get deck doo-doo. It just is what it is. But I did want to find something that made it easier to get off and made it quick for me to get off so I can have better cleaning practices, getting a routine of really cleaning my deck. I'm just showing you the products I use. I told you I tried the dry first, WD-40. And I went to the WD-40 silicone, and then we gonna get in the fluid film. Now, I got my fluid film from Advance. It's running $11.99. Here you can get it at Amazon for $9.99. I'm gonna put the link in the description. Blammo! I got that thing propped up again. Look, what we got here? That purple power, people. Now that degreaser right there, it might work good on other things, but as far as getting grass clippings and that deck doodle out from under the deck, I prefer that Ballard's degreaser. Shout out to Ballard, man. I like Ballard. Oh, Tony Ballard. But I got several Ballard products. I even run the Ballard. Well, hell, that's the Ballard Blaze on there now. But look at that deck doodle. So we about to get this deck doodle up out of there. That's still the silicone, people. So we're gonna clean that off, and we're gonna put that fluid film on there. I also did the Toro. Clean out the Toro. The Toro got a little paint chipping and stuff. I'm telling you, I got to get a better habit of cleaning. So that's what I'm doing right now. Still letting that stuff sit. So I scraped that pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna apply that fluid film up under there. Slow down some of that eating away, that rust, that oxidation. That oxidation, people. We got to slow down the oxidation. Yeah. So we got it cleaned out real good. Removed all the deck doodle. Got the doodle out, changed the diaper. The baby is ready to go. Okay. Got that fluid film on there. Let me tell you about the fluid film. It smells like ass. I'm talking about straight ass. It's ass in a can. I am not playing with you people. The fluid film really stinks. And it's made out of lanolin, and that's why. Because that's coming from sheep's wool. But we're going to get into that too. Oh yeah, I got some goodies packed for you. We're going to learn today. Look at that. That's all that deck doodle. That's not a lot though. That's not a lot. That's coming off me cleaning up after the WD-40 silicone. Look at this, people. This is after the fluid film. Did some more mowing. And that's less deck doodle. Look at back there. I don't know if you saw it on the baffle. Maybe I went, hold on, let's go. I don't know what I did with this camera, y'all. But it's still less deck doodle in certain areas. So the fluid film worked pretty good, and it was easy to get the deck doodle off. I just scraped it this time. I didn't put any water under there. I just scraped all that deck doodle out of there. I really like the fluid film. I put the fluid film on, and I did let it sit overnight. Changed my blades. Got my motion blades on there. Sharp as a mug. I ain't gonna say that. But sharp as a mug. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the fluid film. But I'm telling you, it smell like ass. It's a can of ass. I was mowing and still smelled ass. Hey, it go away, but you smell it. I'm telling you, that stuff stinks. That lanolin is strong. But yeah, I just scraped most of that out. I went back under and scraped some more, but that's just me showing you that I scraped most of that deck doodle. Well, I scraped all the deck doodle out, the majority of it, and that's the deck doodle right there. That's deck doodle. Yep. It was easy to come out, easy to come off. Yeah. We rolling, man. I like that fluid film, but I got to tell you the dark side of fluid film, people. We got to get into it. It's crazy, man. Online you find some stuff, man. You get in that rabbit hole, man. Lanolin. That right there, I'm telling you what lanolin. I'm showing you what lanolin is. It's also called wool fat, wool yolk, wool wax, sheep grease, sheep yolk, or wool grease. Is a wax secreted by the sebaceous glands of wool-bearing animals. Lanolin used by humans comes from domestic sheep breeds that are raised specifically for their wool. Historically, many pharmacopoeias have referred to lanolin as wool fat. However, as lanolin lacks glycerides, it is not a true fat. Lanolin primarily consists of sterol esters. Instead, lanolin's waterproofing property aids sheep in shedding water from their coats. Certain breeds of sheep produce large amounts of lanolin. Follow me, people. Lanoline's role in nature is to protect wool and skin from climate and the environment. It also plays a role in skin hygiene. Lanolin and its derivatives are used in the protection, treatment, and beautification of human skin. So we've been getting down with this lanolin for a while, people, using this sheep oil. What's next? Okay, lanolin and its many derivatives are used extensively in both the personal care, high-value cosmetics, facial cosmetics, lip products, and healthcare sectors such as topical liniments. Lanolin is also found in lubricants, rust preventative coatings, shoe polish, and other commercial products. Lanolin is a relatively common allergen and is often misunderstood as a wool allergy. However, allergy to a lanolin-containing product is difficult to pinpoint, and often other products containing lanolin may be fine for use. Patch testing can be done if a lanolin allergy is suspected. That's, if you're using the cosmetic and you find out you're allergic to lanolin, it's in everything, people. Lanolin is used commercially in many industrial products, ranging from rust-proof coatings to lubricants. Some sailors use lanolin to create slippery surfaces on their propellers and stern gear, to which barnacles cannot adhere. Man, that lanolin bad, ain't it? Commercial products containing up to 85% lanolin are used to prevent corrosion in marine fasteners, especially when two different metals are in contact with each other in salt water. So, it's getting into, how lanolin helps with corrosion and stuff. You use lanolin to make vitamin D3. You see that, people? Baseball players often use it to soften and break in their baseball glove. Man, that lanolin a bad mofo, man. I'm telling you, man. They've been using the lanolin for a while, man. The lanolin is a big industry. And we're going to get to the dark side of this industry, man. But y'all got to walk with me as we break down lanolin. Next up, we got they talking about the anhydrous liquid lanolin combined with parabens has been used in trials as artificial tears to treat dry eye. Come on now. Lanolin can also be restored to woolen garments to make them water and dirt repellent, such as for cloth diaper covers. Lanolin is also used in lip balm products such as Carmex. For some people, it can irritate the lips, man. That lanolin is everywhere. Nah, I'm saying. But you get the picture, people. They put it in a lot of stuff. Lanolin is sometimes used by people on continuous positive airway pressure therapy to reduce irritation with masks, particularly nasal pillow masks that can often create sore spots in the nostrils. Lanolin is a popular additive to mustache wax, particularly extra firm varieties. Lanolin is used as a primary lubricating component in aerosol-based brass lubricants in the ammunition reloading process, mixed with warm. They got a 1-12 with highly concentrated ethanol. The ethanol acts as a carrier which evaporates quickly after application, leaving the fine film of lanolin behind to prevent brass seizing and resizing dyes. Man, I'm telling you, lanolin is untouchable at this point. They putting it on everything, anything. We don't even know some of the stuff they hide the lanolin. Now let's get into it. I'm just playing, y'all. But let's get into the dark side of lanolin. This is from Axology.com. Sadly, like many other natural ingredients that sound too good to be true, lanolin also has a dark side. And we're going to get into that dark side, people. And it's crazy, man. What is going on with the sheeps? What is lanolin? Lanolin is a waxy substance derived mainly from the wool of sheep. The sheep's sebaceous glands produce this wool wax to help shed water and keep the sheep dry. It's extracted by putting the wool through a centrifuge machine that separates the oil from other chemicals and debris. That means we get lanolin from wool, which we can get by giving the sheep a haircut. How bad could it be, right? Unfortunately, it's not that simple, man. Man, they say it's not that simple. We gonna get into it, what they doing to the sheep. Growing popularity. Lanolin is used in an array of products like pharmaceuticals, leather, textiles, baby and men's care products, biolubricants, and nearly all types of cosmetics marketed to women. While pharmaceutical grade lanolin is the lion's share of the market, today, the growing demand for natural and organic ingredients in personal care products is driving lanolin market growth, which is expected to be worth more than $450 million US dollars, y'all, by 2024, and we in 2025. So I'm telling you, man, the lanolin is up. Might want to go invest in lanolin or get you some sheeps. In beauty products, specifically lanolin gives lipsticks, heavy gloss, and high shine. Formulations like these are about 5 to 10% lanolin by weight. Lanolin may also appear in cosmetics as modified versions of lanolin oil. Lanfrax, for instance, is the trade name of lanolin oil compound that has polyethylene glycol attached to it to make it more water soluble. Accounting for these modified versions of lanolin and its derivatives may account for approximately 15 to 25% of the weight of a given lipstick. So, the cosmetic industry really loves lanolin. They be on that lanolin, people. They be getting that lanolin till they can't find lanolin no more. They even got something called Lanfrax. As you see, I just read that, man. So, though the production of lanolin seems innocent enough because the process happens after the sheep are shorn and seems like it should be a natural byproduct of the wool industry, lanolin is a major industry of its own. The only way to sustain accelerating levels of lanolin production is by being inextricably linked to mass-produced wool, which is a slaughter industry with inhumane practices. Because of the lanolin industry relies directly on mass-produced wool, lanolin also supports cruelty. And that's inextricably. Messed that word up, y'all. But anyway, you see where we're going here, man. We're getting into the real dark side of what's going on with the sheep and what they doing to these sheep to get all this lanolin. Because lanolin is a big profitable industry. You see where it said it's a major industry of its own. Cruelty-free versus mass-produced lanolin. Before getting deeper into why you should say no to lanolin, it's important to point out that cruelty-free wool has emerged in the opposition to the mass-produced wool industry. These efforts have come predominantly from the apparel industry, with the H&M Group banding with the Textile Exchange in 2014 to initiate the development of the responsible wool standard. Yeah, so now we're getting into cruelty-free versus mass-produced lanolin. So, somebody took the initiative to say, hey man, what y'all doing to these sheep is bad. So they said, man, we got to do something about this, man. We got to do something about this. Why y'all doing the sheep like this, people? So now check it out. However, despite these efforts, the line between ethical, humane, and mass-produced wool, and thus lanolin, is blurry due to a continued lack of cohesive international standards and difficulty relating to traceability. So, it's been a big, I guess it's probably been going on for a while, man, you know. Organizations coming together trying to, cut down on these bad practices of what's going on and how they treat these sheep. Now, why is mass-produced lanolin so bad? As with anything where exploitation for profit is concerned, sheep are treated horribly in the mass-produced wool and lanolin industry. That's what we're getting to, people. What they're doing to the sheep. Though sheep can live up to 17 years, most mass farm sheep are slaughtered before they reach 6 years old. The majority of sheep slaughtered each year are lambs. Sheep are routinely transported long distances, sometimes for more than 10 hours without rest, for slaughter, and can suffer heat stroke, heart attacks, dehydration, overcrowding, and stress-related conditions along the way. Sheep are also commonly stunned with an electric current before slaughter, which when performed incorrectly can allow sheep to regain consciousness while having their throat cut or bleeding to death. Man, they doing some dirty things to the sheep. Dirty. Sheep's having heart attacks, dehydration. They need water. Overcrowding, they all up on each other. ass to face to ass. It's just too many sheep. It's not just the act of the slaughter that is inhumane. Before slaughter, industrial farm sheep often live a cruel-free life, or a cruel life. Just weeks after birth, lambs' ears are punched, their tails are chopped off, and males are castrated without anesthetic. According to Australian Law Reform Chairman M.D. Kirby, Australian sheep, which produces 80% of the world's wool, suffer over 50 million operations a year that would constitute cruelty if performed on dogs or cats. You see, you can't do it to the cat dogs unless you're getting it, hiding it in that General Tso's chicken. But anyway, we're gonna get off there and get back to the sheep. Where there's wool, there's way. Where wool and lanolin are concerned, merino sheep suffer particular horrors. This prized breed is specifically bred to have wrinkly skin in order to produce more wool. This can lead to death from heat exhaustion during hot months, and the deep wrinkles collect urine and moisture that attract flies. The flies lay eggs in the folds of the skin, and the hatched maggots feed on the living sheep. Damn, that sound funky. To prevent this parasitic infection known as fly strike, sheep or what they say, mulesing. Mulesing is a practice during which farmers cut chunks of skin and flesh from an unanesthetized. This is nasty, people. Sheep mulesing may kill more sheep than it saves, but the mutilation continues. Y'all hear that, people? The brutalization doesn't stop there. As sheep age, they naturally grind their teeth to reduce tooth loss and extend sheep's productive life. A battery-operated grinder or a disc cutter is used to wear down the teeth near the level of the gums. This painful procedure causes the teeth to bleed profusely. Man, you see what they doing to these sheep, people? Are y'all listening to me, man? Who gives a damn about the sheep, man? Who gives a damn about the sheep, man? Why they doing this shit, man? They grinding the sheep teeth down. Oh, man. Even the practice of shearing isn't always innocent. Many shearers are paid hourly and work quickly without regard for the welfare of the animals, and many animals are injured every year in the process. Plus, shearing is done in the spring, just before sheep naturally shed their winter coats. An estimated 1 million Australian sheep die every year from exposure to the cold after premature shearing, man. They getting the sheep sick. They shivering, people. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, it's crazy, man, what they're doing to the sheep. I didn't know this, people. I'm just putting this out here, letting people know so you can make an informed decision. I say, man, I'm laying off the lanolin, man. Why y'all doing the sheep like that, man? What did the sheep do to you? But do sheep die in the production of lanolin specifically? Technically speaking, sheep do not die as a direct result of the lanolin production because it is obtained from their wool. However, as sheep age, their wool production gradually slows. Just as humans lose density in eyelashes, eyebrows, and hair, when they can no longer meet the farmer's wool demands, they are sent to the slaughter for consumption. Sheep bred for wool and lanolin are almost always killed for meat. So, they use everything, man. They gonna sell that meat after they get through with the sheep and that hair, that wool, getting this lanolin, this big industry that's making a lot of money. In this way, the demand for mass-produced lanolin perpetuates cruelty and eventual death of sheep. Is it hypothetically possible to find lanolin from small farmers who lovingly care for their sheep, or from RWS producers who follow ethical practices? Yes, but the sad truth is that the vast majority of the lanolin you'll find in products on shelves is not obtained that way. So my fluid film is probably used or come from battered sheep, people. They done grinded the teeth down, hit them with the electric rods. They got heat strokes, heart strokes, all kinds of stuff, man. They ass to face to ass. You talking about overcrowded sheep everywhere, hair everywhere. They shearing them and they catching colds. By contrast, plant-based waxes and emollients do not cause harm to animals, directly or indirectly. For us, the risk of harm is not worth the benefits when perfectly suitable, cruelty-free vegan alternatives exist. That's why I'm gonna start using the cooking oil, man. I'm going to the cooking oil, people. I ain't participating in this sheep slaughter no more, man. It's gonna go on, but it ain't getting my contributions. I'm not messing. I don't use lanolin products on my skin anyway. I've been stopped using that when I found out, how it was made, but I didn't know they were doing the sheep this way. I just knew they was getting the oil from the hair and everything. I ain't know they were doing them sheep like that, man. Slapping them and punching them and shaving them. They ain't even putting guards on the clippers. Just cutting and stuff, man. That's crazy, man. You can't do the sheep like that, people. But yeah, I just wanted to drop that on you, man. I know that's kind of heavy, You can still use your fluid film or whatever you want, man. Your lanolin products, I don't really care. I just want to let people know what they're doing to the sheep. But I ain't messing with that lanolin no more, man. I did find that the lanolin worked better than the WD-40 dry and the WD-40 silicone. But from now on, I'm just going to use Pam. Pam is cheaper. Get that good old cooking spray and that good old soybean oil, man. That's what I'm going to do. So you do what you do. But man, hit that like button. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Space time, man. I hope you learned something today, man. Y'all leave them sheep alone, people, man. They doing bad things to the sheep, man. I believe the sheep are the future. Oh, messing up here. But let me get on out of here, man. I continue to do anything, get silly, man. But yeah, I like the fluid film the best out of the 3 products. So if you don't care about the sheep, get some of that fluid film, man. It stink. It smell like ash in the can. That's the sheep crying out, people, because they in there ash to face. Overcrowded, man. Think about the sheep, man, next time you buy a can of fluid film. So I'm gonna give that Pam a try, man. Yeah, on some deck doodle. I might do a video on that, man, with the cooking oil. See how the cooking oil compare to the fluid film. I know the fluid film is way better than the WD-40. So I would go for the fluid film. It's gonna smell like ass in the can, and you're messing up the little sheep, the po sheep, man. Y'all doing them dirty. But yeah, I'm gonna try that cooking oil, man. I'm out of here. Space time. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.